I was once told that women lose their value after 30. It literally drops in half.
In their early 30s, they get really upset because they say the boys don't want to date me anymore because they're not at their prime. And people get mad when I say that. Well, it's just true. If you're in your early 30s, I'm sorry. It's like you're not as attractive in the dating pool as you were in the early 20s.
Men value different things than women do. They value beauty, youth. Going into your 30s, your options are going to be less than when you were in your 20s.
So that woman saying that she wants to choose the best option. Good, but you don't have options to choose from. Why? Because that guy was in your 20s. That's what hitting the wall means.
Excuse me?
Somewhere between blowing out the candles on your 30th birthday cake and realizing your metabolism isn't working quite as hard for you now as it used to, it hits you. You are done. Expired.
So now I'm over 30. That means, dun dun dun, I'm expired. Or at least that's what the men keep telling me in my comments.
And when people ask you your age, you have to answer the dreaded 30-something. 35. You're over 30, you are old. You probably woke up fatter, wrinklier, uglier, single on the eve of your 29th birthday. Your uterus is probably moments from fossilizing. Your dating pool looks more like a puddle. And according to every second headline, you should probably be panic freezing your eggs right about now. Because according to society, once you hit your 30s, you are over.
You know what? You know what? You know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I think? I think that us girlies are being lied to on an epic scale. Fear-mongering at its finest.
I'm 25, you're like 30. Kylie, that is so rude. What? I'm 27. I have
30.
2 more good years in me. You're basically 30.
That's my opinion!
How did this idea that women over the age of 30 are sad, out of shape, rapidly aging desperados worm its way into our culture and our psyche?
I can't even live my life. I can't even go anywhere.
Listen, let me say this because this is a real conversation. Why do people act like when women hit their 30s or a little bit older, like they're done? Like, oh my God, once you hit 30 as a woman, it's over. Like, you're no longer good looking.
That's a good question.
Have you guys ever seen Bridget Jones? Bridget is the prototype. 30-something, awkward, underachieving, constantly dieting because she's fat, right? Perpetually smoking, and painfully single. Basically, every 30-something-year-old woman everywhere.
Jesus Christ.
And in the first movie, Bridget is only 32. Bridget is obsessed with her weight. We learn at the start of the video that Bridget is around 136 pounds. That's about 61 kilograms for my fellow Aussies. She was portrayed as being overweight in her shameful granny knickers and Spanx, when in reality, Bridget was about a UK size 12, which is literally the average dress size for a British woman. In fact, the average adult female in the UK wears a size 14 to 16, and yet we're being expected to believe that Bridget was fat. She's literally smaller than most average women.
Obviously, we'll lose 20 pounds.
And yet here we are being gaslit that our dear old Bridget was a porker. Not only does her mother refer to her as a dumpling.
There you are, dumpling.
Very flattering. At one point in the movie, there's a shot of her fridge. If you look at the things that she has stuck to her fridge, there's a magnet saying, "A moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips." I mean, there's pictures of skinny bodies with Bridget's head cut out and stuck on top. And it's not just Bridget who was portrayed as being an out-of-shape grandma past her expiry date just because she dared to age past her 20s. Britney Spears, the blonde, tiny-waisted, crop-top pop princess adored worldwide for her sugary sweet voice and sexy dance moves, suddenly found herself on the wrong side of the media after she had the absolute audacity to have children and enter her 30s.
She was seen texting somebody immediately after her performances. Any guesses on the nature of the text, Joel, and the recipient of the text?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think we can rule out dietitian, personal trainer, psychiatrist.
Hi, everybody. I may have lost a foot to diabetes, but I'm still sexy, y'all.
Suddenly she wasn't America's sweetheart. She was bloated, unstable, washed up. And then there's the headlines. Oh my days. The paparazzi have made it their mission to zoom in on the thighs of celebrity women in their 30s like they're trying to locate a crime scene. The message is loud and clear. If you're not young, thin, and marketable, you're no longer welcome. The thing that really irks me as a 36-year-old is that these jiggly bums and cellulite thighs and bellies that we as women in our 30s are being shamed for are all actually perfectly natural, normal aspects of female anatomy. And it actually has nothing to do with being in your 30s. I mean, supermodels in their 20s have these. Look at Bella Hadid. She's got cellulite in her thighs and she's not 30. Kendall Jenner, she's got it too. I know that we're expected to believe that the girlies in their 20s look like this, all airbrushed legs and taut bellies. Well, they don't. Not because of their age, but because they're human. And we're kind of not made that way. As women, we are actually designed to have cellulite. It's a way for our bodies to store energy in case of famine or starvation. It's biology, it's not a flaw. We're actually meant to have bellies because that lower belly fat, it helps protect our reproductive organs, and they're pretty important.
When I wear dresses like this, bodycon, very like, you know, everything's out. I used to just get so insecure about this bump that we have here, but I wanted it to be like that. But it's just unrealistic. Like, us women, we naturally store fat there. Like, our organs need protection and all that good stuff. So don't be insecure about it. Like, mine is, she's not going.
Get it, girl. We don't shame people for having ribs to protect their heart or lungs. So why, oh why, do we shame women for having bellies? Why do we shame the woman who struggles to lose her lower belly pooch? It's almost like her body doesn't want to lose it because it's kind of important. And it's got nothing to do with being in your 30s and everything to do with being a female human being.
If you're a girl who wears really tight dresses, but you have that little pooch that sticks out, that is the sexiest thing ever. Pack your bags. We are getting married. It is not cute, it is not adorable, it is not whatever, it is hot, it is sexy, it is amazing. So ladies, keep doing what you're doing, you are driving me crazy.
But it's not just our bodies that us girls in our 30s have to worry about. If you are not married and settled down with 3.5 children, you're basically a spinster and you must desperately be on the lookout for a man. Then there's Sex and the City, another portrayal of us girls in our 30s. But at least the Sex and the City characters painted us girls in our 30s as being liberated, right? No. In the first season, the characters are all in their early to mid 30s. Harry Bradshaw was 32, Miranda was 33, Charlotte was 32, and Samantha Jones was 40. On the surface, it was revolutionary. Finally, a show where women over 30 weren't depicted as wives or mothers. They were front and center, talking about sex, money, ambition, fashion. Groundbreaking, right?
Nope. Wrong again.
There is a depressing undercurrent that runs through the entire series. The desperation to find a man. Because men are everything, right? The girls are all on a quest to find a man, keep him, and marry him. They find themselves being compared to younger women, like being in your 30s is old. And at our ripe age, our main goal should be to settle down.
Are you telling me you haven't gotten those poor single you looks?
I hate those. Okay, yes, I have. I hate it when you're the only single person at a dinner party and they all look at you like you're a
loser, leper.
Harry, allegedly a successful writer, couldn't afford her apartment without a man to bail her out. Because despite the fact that she had a successful column and was well established in her career, she must still be at least slightly broke.
Where did all my money go? I know I made some.
At $400 a pop, how many of these do you have? 50?
Come on.
100?
Would that be wrong?
100 times 400. There's your down payment.
Well, that's only $4,000.
No, it's 40,000.
I spent $40,000 on shoes and I have no place to live?
Because how can us girls in our 30s fend for ourselves without the help of a man to save us? Charlotte's entire narrative was about getting married and being seen as respectable.
I'm nice, and I'm pretty, and I'm smart. I'm a catch. You know what? I'm gonna meet the perfect guy, and I'm gonna get married.
But the worst part for me is that throughout the series, the pressure of aging is a constant undercurrent.
So what can I help you with? Well, we need to find a red carpet look for my friend Samantha here.
And I think we found it.
Is that maybe a little young?
I don't know. Exactly how old do you think I am?
We live in a culture that promotes impossible standards of beauty.
Yeah, you're beautiful.
I hate my thighs.
Oh, come on. I can't even open a magazine without thinking thighs, thighs, thighs.
Well, I'll take your thighs and raise you a chin.
I'll take your chin and raise you a...
The girls make comments about getting too old to be single, and they panic about their fertility, desirability, and shelf life like we're products. I feel like in your 30s, there's this unspoken ticking clock. Like you're hot now, but for how much longer? You better lock it down now while you still can. And despite their independence, each of the women was written to chase love like it was going out of fashion. As they age in the series, the undertone gets louder. Settle down now soon or prepare to be alone forever.
It's insane that we have told women over 30 who are single that there's some danger or that they're not okay.
The message was clear. There is a cutoff point for female desirability, and if you're in your 30s, it's fast approaching.
I assumed I would find my husband in my 20s and be married by 30 and having kids and all that, and I'm 32 and I'm just not.
I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't drink anything without feeling pain.
How many of you guys that are over the age of 30 feel like you're behind where you should be at this age?
29, and I'm like, oh my
God, I feel so stressed. There is suddenly this bloody influx of subliminal messaging around. If you have not built a home, if you do not have a husband, if you do not have a baby, and you are turning 30, and you're not in some like incredibly like secure, stable place in your career, or you're still figuring things out, there's just like this incredible amount of anxiety.
Maybe you're unmarried. Maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you're still working a job you hate just to pay the bills. You haven't found your high value provider man yet. You don't even know what you want to do when you grow up. Are you dating everybody available on Tinder and Hinge in your area and you still haven't found anyone you like?
A lot of girls, once they start pushing that 30 mark, they're like, okay, I gotta lower my standards a little bit because it's not working out.
Because, you know, we have that pressure of time and
Right.
eggs, and I feel like society does a really good job of
reminding
us of that,
Yeah.
that timeline.
Like always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Right,
There's
and
movies
like
about that.
once you hit 30, your eggs start shriveling.
I just want to know, are there any people out there in their 30s who feel like they're just lost and confused in their life right now? People used to tell me, just wait till you get to your 30s. It gets so much easier. I don't feel like that. Do I want to start a whole new career path? Do I just want to take whatever money I have left to my name and just run to Europe? I'm 33. Do I need to try and look for a husband right now? So I don't really have the financial freedom right now. I don't know anymore.
There's this strange timeline that society puts on women where your 20s is for partying and climbing the corporate ladder. And then bam, you hit your 30s, now it's time to get married, settle down, have all the babies. But that timeline is so skewed and it puts this enormous pressure on women that honestly makes me a little mad.
My girlie's in their 30s. Time isn't running out. It's not. Feels like it is. If you look at social media, oh my God, you're running out of time. It's not. It's not. Other people will make you feel like you're running out of time because they want everyone to do what they're doing so they feel better about their choices.
Oh, and don't forget the house. If you don't own at least one house by the time you're in your mid-30s, you're a failure.
The problem is you.
One of the most persistent myths about women in their 30s is that we are aging at rapid speed, that we go from youthful and glowing to tired and frumpy almost overnight. It's this idea that the moment you hit your 30s, your glow fades, your fertility dies, your desirability flatlines, and society places you gently but firmly on the clearance rack.
I just got back inside from taking my dog out, and these two like young college boys like stopped me, and they start hitting on me. They're like, "What are you in school for? Like, what are you studying?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm 31, been there, done that. My college days are way behind me." And really both of their jaws dropped, and they're like, "Oh my God, you look so good for your age." I don't know whether or not to be offended or flattered, because like, what do you younger people, or you 20-somethings think 30-year-olds are supposed to look like?
If you're 35, it's basically the same as 85 in terms of aging. You probably look and feel like a decrepit old hag, don't you? Your jowls probably sag so low that they trail on the ground when you walk. Your wrinkles are probably so deep and obvious that it's all people can see when they look at you. And if you haven't scheduled yourself for a facelift like Lindsay Lohan, Anne Hathaway, Bella Hadid, then you best hop to it. I don't know if you guys feel the same as me, but I feel like the moment you cross into your third decade, which actually isn't even really that long to have been alive for, the media, social and otherwise, loves to portray us as being rapidly declining. Like we went to sleep at 29, youthful, vibrant, and glowing, and woke up at 30, dull, sagging, and a personal scent that smells faintly of retinol and desperation.
Oh my God, you're older than 30? That's so old. Bitch, I look younger than you. The fuck are you doing wrong? The fuck?
The truth of the matter is that your skin does change in your 30s. That's not propaganda, it's just physiology.
This video is for the women who are 30 plus. I feel like something has happened to my face recently. I did run to the internet to see if anyone else had like experienced something similar, and I found this Reddit post. I'm not saying I look super old, it's just comparatively to how I used to look. I feel like I had this like youthfulness and this glow and this color in my face. Like something's happened.
I speak from experience here, guys. Collagen production does slow down, hydration levels do dip, and you might look in the mirror one day and be like, who the fuck are you? Happens to the best of us. It's life. It's natural progression. And it's gonna happen whether we like it or not, unless we're dead.
I'm a 39-year-old board-certified dermatologist, and if you landed on this page, that means you're in your 30s and you're entering the aging era. We start losing collagen in our mid-20s. As we enter our 30s, it's truly all about maintaining who we are versus using words like preventing the inevitable.
If you're in your 30s and you feel like your face is just falling all of a sudden and you don't know what the hell happened, but over the past 6 months or even 1 month, feel like you've just developed jowls, well, this video is for you. 3 biggest things that I notice people develop in their 30s that add to the look of aging and looking tired is usually one of three things. Number one, discoloration and uneven skin tone. Number two, rosacea or acne, because you become more hormonal in your 30s. Your skin becomes oilier and a lot of women develop hormonal acne. And last, fine lines and wrinkles.
Oh, hell no! No! Which actually leads me to this video's sponsor, Typology. I don't know about you guys, but I only really started looking after my skin in the last year. Before that, I didn't really have a clue what I was doing. To be honest, I didn't really care. Now that I've caught the skincare bug, I don't intend to stop anytime soon. It's actually such a nice feeling seeing my skin continuously getting better the older I get, because I'm actually looking after it now. And I must have Typology to thank for that, because I've been using these guys continuously for the last year. Typology has made it a point to support us girls in our 30s because, let's be honest, we need it. The truth is, in our 30s, our skin does decide it's time for a little rebellion. I know I've noticed that my skin is a little bit drier, a little bit looser, like I feel like my collagen production is slowing down. Your face might feel a little bit less bouncy, and that's when you realize your skin needs a little more love. No one can stop the aging process, and honestly, why would you want to? It's a blessing. But we all want to have healthy, comfortable, glowing skin no matter our age. And by tweaking your skincare just that little bit, you can absolutely have some control when it comes to keeping your skin healthy and happy. I'm talking hydration and targeted ingredients for our age group. Like this. This is the Typology Plumping Serum. Think of this as a tall glass of water for thirsty skin. It's formulated with red seaweed extract and 3% polyglutamic acid, a powerful ingredient which holds 5,000% its weight in water, giving it an unparalleled ability to retain moisture in your skin to help smooth dehydration lines and provide long-lasting hydration, which means you get plumper, smoother, happier, healthier skin. Another thing you might notice in your 30s is that your skin starts looking a little bit looser than you remember. Nothing extreme, not an issue. It's all part of the process. But the fact of the matter is, most of us would like to keep our skin as firm as possible for as long as possible. And that's where this little powerhouse comes in. Typology Serum for wrinkles and loss of firmness is going to be your best friend. Packed with ingredients designed to tackle declining collagen production head on, like plant collagen and 10% vitamin C, which work to stimulate collagen synthesis, which firms up your skin and helps to smooth those first hints of fine lines and wrinkles. But the icing on the cake, and I've been using this every single night since I got it, and actually I don't think my under eyes are looking too bad. This is Typology's new eye serum for fine lines and wrinkles, and it does what it says on the tin. No beating around the bush with this one. It's specifically formulated for the delicate skin around your eyes, and the real magic here is that it contains gentle retinoids that interact directly with your skin's own retinoid receptors, stimulating collagen and elastin production, which in turn improves your skin's firmness and elasticity. Skin under your eye is a lot thinner, so it matters what you put there. The reason this serum is so brilliant is because it's powerful, but it's very gentle. It aims to reduce fine lines and makes you look fresh and awake, which is great if, like me, you have young kids and you don't get great sleep. It delivers visible results as fast as with 4 weeks of use. So if you've been thinking about upgrading your skincare routine to something that targets your age group, that is made in France and vegan and cruelty free, with a short ingredient list that is over 80% naturally derived, minus all the bogus fillers and additives, then now is a perfect time to level up, because Typology would love to offer you guys their Radiance Mask for free with any purchase of $40 or more. I'll pop the link to Typology's website in the description box down below. Now I get it, on one hand, when we're in our 30s, we're told that we should start aging gracefully. Don't touch fillers, don't touch Botox, that's desperate. Don't resort to any nips and tucks. You should embrace the aging process. But let's be real, no one wants to look older than their age. If you ask me, there's absolutely nothing wrong with fine lines. I've got them. Heck, I get told in my comment section of pretty much every YouTube video that I put out that my forehead, I pronounce it forehead, that my forehead lines need to be treated, but then I wouldn't be able to raise my eyebrows, and I like to do that. But the thing is, there is no shame in investing in yourself or your skin. Just like there is nothing wrong with letting the aging process and your skin do its thing. Whatever floats your boat. I feel like your 30s is this weird time warp where it's essentially a decade of wanting to maintain your youthful glow and preserve your looks and not age prematurely, while simultaneously not wanting to give in to the pressures of ageism. It's like we're between a rock and a hard place.
Normalize understanding the difference between wanting to prevent premature aging and being completely terrified of aging. I really like to end this narrative of doing things to prevent premature aging means you're terrified of aging. The term is premature aging for a reason, because I don't want to age prematurely. Why would I? But do I mind aging? No.
It's conflicting, and I know because I experience it daily. I feel like there's this furious push of fillers and Botox are bad. No, they're good. No, they're bad. No, they're good. And I'm speaking to you one-on-one here, girl, because I feel the pressure. I used to be so for fillers and Botox in my 20s when I didn't need it, and then I hit 30, had 2 kids, breastfed for like 20 years, and was very anti-tweakment. Botox and filler? Toxic. toxic. And I was right. They are. I mean, Botox is literally a neurotoxin. And yet now I sit somewhere in the middle. I have a more nuanced view on the topic. I get why so many of us women in our 30s are rushing out to our local injector to get everything injected into our face, whether it be salmon sperm.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but come with me to get salmon sperm DNA injected into my face. Here it is right after we're done. It leaves lumps where the needles injected the Ridgerin. My neck area, I opted to get injected because I have a genetic turkey neck. This is right afterwards. See how the injected areas leave bigger bumps than the gun? She said I need to do this 3 times every 3 weeks.
Neurotoxin.
Come with me as a 36-year-old mama of 4 to get my Botox done. Be able to see the results for yourselves. So this video I filmed the day after getting Botox, and then this one I filmed 2 weeks later when the Botox had finally settled.
Filler sculpture.
You need to listen to this.
If you're starting to have thin skin and you start seeing those little accordion lines, or just feel like you have a bunch of volume loss and collagen loss, then Sculptra is perfect for you. And pretty much all Sculptra is just helping produce your own production of collagen. It's like fertilizer for your skin. It's not filler, it's completely safe, FDA approved, and it's so natural and so pretty.
Heck, there's a bunch of us now even booking in for facelifts.
I had my facelift and rhinoplasty 8 weeks ago, and this is where we're at right now in the healing process.
These procedures are not illegal, they're not immoral. We're big girls, we can decide for ourselves, but whew, this is a caveat. It is a slippery slope. I actually went and got filler recently. I know. Hold on to your hair. When I was a kid, I tripped and smashed my head on a tree root. Sounds really random, but I actually put a dent in my forehead right about here. Like a line dent. I first got filler in my forehead dent when I was 28, I think, in Ireland. And it lasted for years. And I was like, wow, this is great. I no longer have like a dent in my forehead. And then eventually it either dissolved or migrated, who knows. And the dent was back. And because I do YouTube and I have to see myself because I edit myself, all I was looking at was this bloody dent in my forehead. And actually, if you watch some of my videos from like a year ago, a few months ago, you'll be like, yes, I see it now. You do have a dent in your head. So I went and I got filler put in my forehead dent. But while I was there, I was like, fuck it, why don't you put some in my lips, my nose, my jaw, my cheeks? It is a slippery slope, my friends. You have to go into these things with your head screwed on and your eyes wide open, because otherwise you can end up getting filler blind. And I don't mean actually getting like physically blinded from filler, but going over the top with filler and not noticing it because you become used to it and it starts to look normal to you.
Like, you know when you get filler and you're looking at yourself and you're like, that looks good, I could do more? And then after a while, it's just inevitable. Do not hate me, but we get like filler blindness. We do. It happens to literally everyone.
But the fact of the matter is, it would be stupid to pretend that the pressure to not age and stay looking youthful forever is not upon us in our 30s, because it very much is. Because we are being constantly bombarded everywhere we look with the messaging that aging is bad and aging diminishes our worth. And if you don't have youth and beauty, you are irrelevant. That's not a nice feeling.
When I was younger, people would be nicer to me. Like, they would go out of their way to talk to me, smile at me, hold doors open. But as I've gotten older, what I'm noticing is that people, they don't do that. It's almost like you become slowly more and more invisible.
I'm 37 now. I'm going to be 38 in a week. And in the last year or so, I've really struggled with my appearance. It's not so much of like a shallow thing, not wanting to look old. It's not even that I'm like upset about a wrinkle or a blemish or a pigmentation. It's this just really weird phenomenon that happens where you don't recognize yourself and you're trying to look like you always have, and not in an age way, but just in a recognizing yourself.
But honestly, is it any wonder that us girls in our third decade feel like old dried out prunes when you have beautiful actresses like Maggie Gyllenhaal being told that she was too old to play love interest to men 10 or 15 years her senior? What? She was only 37 when she was told that she was too mature to be cast opposite a 55-year-old man. Even just being close to being in your 30s is a huge no-no. Olivia Wilde, at 28, auditioned for a role in The Wolf of Wall Street but was told that she was too old to play Leonardo DiCaprio's wife, and the role went to 22-year-old Margot Robbie. Elizabeth Banks at 28 was considered too old to play Mary Jane Watson in Spider-Man, despite being only 1 year older than Tobey Maguire, who played Spider-Man. And don't get me started on geriatric mothers. If you've ever been pregnant in your 30s, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about here, but if you haven't, The term geriatric is an adjective relating to old people, especially with regard to their healthcare. And do you know what pregnant women over the age of 35 are referred to as? Geriatric pregnancies at 35, sometimes younger. I am flabbergasted that we are still using this terminology to describe pregnant women.
I am a geriatric pregnant woman. Hi there, I am Sarah, and according to Google, that means I'm over the age of 35 and having a baby. And if you're nosy like me, I'm actually 37 and will be 38 by the time I have this baby. I believe the term geriatric pregnancy is actually outdated and it's now called advanced maternal age.
I mean, the mere fact that you can get pregnant and carry a baby clearly demonstrates the fact that you are anything but geriatric.
Aisha Curry is pregnant with her 4th child at 34 years old, and she has been labeled a geriatric pregnancy. What is going on? I thought we were at least 35 and up, but now they're even calling her a geriatric pregnancy? This is Aisha's 4th pregnancy, so she had her first child at 22, and she's really experiencing the difference between how she's treated by the doctors in her 20s versus now a 34-year-old, and especially this term geriatric pregnancy, or what they're now pushing for, the term advanced maternal age. I just had my 3rd child at 42, and all 3 of my pregnancies were geriatric, so I'm so glad that someone like Aisha, who has a large voice and a big following, is talking about this important issue. She says she hopes that we can shift the narrative so that women are not told they're old. She says, I think there's something that needs to be more nuanced when it comes to women, their age, and conversations around having children. Yes. Love this photo of her. There are women that are turning 30 and they're so stressed because they don't have their partner, they haven't started their families, and everyone's on their own path. We really have to shift how we talk about this, that become a mom when the time is right for you, not because societal pressure tells you so. And then of course you have men like the Al Pacinos, the Robert De Niros in their late 70s, early 80s, and they're having kids, but no one is calling them advanced maternal age or geriatric to their face.
Check it out in her article, Aisha Curry on geriatric pregnancy. Being told you're old feels alarming and wild. That is so true. So true. So let me catch you up if you haven't heard. She says, I think there's something that needs to be more nuanced when it comes to women, their age, and conversations around having children, Aisha wrote. Many women in their 30s and 40s are going through this for the first time, and being told you're too old feels alarming and wild. I think the narrative needs to be shifted a little bit. Okay, let's break that down a bit. So that term geriatric pregnancy is used to describe women and birthing people over the age of 35. And according to NIH, 20% of people in the US are now having babies after the age of 35. It's a lot of geriatric pregnancies. So do we need to change the narrative? Yeah, actually we do. Now, Aisha does acknowledge that there is risk, medical risk, for women and birthing people over the age of 35. She doesn't dispute that. But what she is talking about, how hearing the term geriatric pregnancy makes the client feel. How does that impact you when you hear your doctor say you're geriatric? The shift in the narrative will be for health professionals, medical professionals across the board to start to use the term advanced maternal age, which some of them are using. So advanced maternal age as opposed to geriatric pregnancy. And we know that pregnancy can be stressful for some people, especially if they've had pregnancy-related issues, infertility. So being now told that you're too old can add even more mental health concerns, anxiety, intrusive thoughts, fear and worry about carrying the baby to term. So using that terminology with your patient is really not helping them emotionally in the least. So today I'm pleading, encouraging those health professionals who are not using the term advanced maternal age, which in itself is a little shady if you ask me, but I mean, we have to have some terminology to use. But if you're not using that term and you're using geriatric pregnancy, think about your patients. Think about how that impacts them when you say that to them. We're really encouraging you to change the terminology so it doesn't land as recklessly, for lack of a better word. It doesn't land as hard. There is some sensitivity, and I think a patient can understand you're of advanced maternal age. You ain't geriatric.
You're barely out of your low-rise jeans, and suddenly you're being medically gaslit into thinking your uterus is about to turn to dust, and you should probably be using a commode and a walker. And yet here you are with the audacity to be pregnant as a geriatric? Imagine how many women hear the term geriatric pregnancy and immediately spiral. Not because their bodies are actually old, but because the language used to describe them is. It's this quiet shaming that gets embedded into everything in our 30s. Even the way we talk about our lives. Still renting, still dating, still figuring out your career career path in your 30s. Yeah, because apparently we're meant to have all our ducks in a row in this decade. And if you don't, you basically have failure to launch. Oh, and why is it that the moment you turn 30, suddenly your ovaries are everyone's business? From your auntie at the Christmas lunch to media headlines speculating that you've left it too late. The message is clear. TikTok, sweetheart.
You're over 30 and you still don't have a child. I mean, when are you planning to get married? Your biological clock is ticking. Time to pop out some babies.
Your womb has an expiry date and it's fast approaching. It's no longer, do you want kids one day? It becomes, you should really start trying now before it's too late. Because apparently the moment you blow out 30 candles on a cake, your fertility plummets off a cliff and your eggs start self-imploding at rapid speed.
I'm in the stage of life where I'm watching all my friends get married and have babies, and my friend was like, you know, you'll meet the one day, don't give up. But now I'm at a point where I hope I don't, because what happens if I meet him and he wants kids and I'm too old to not be able to give him any?
Now, I don't know about you guys, but most women I know kind of found themselves after the age of 30. The fog of your 20s lifts. You stop dating red flags, hopefully. You learn to say no. No is a complete sentence. I'm still trying to learn that one, actually. Haven't got there yet. But you do get clearer on what you want. You know yourself better. And you care less about what other people think. At least in theory. Financially, emotionally, spiritually, women in their 30s are just hitting their stride.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better bitches, better money, my clothes better, my shoes better, I work harder.
I am eating up this women in their 30s trend. And let me tell you why. I used to be so scared of exiting my 20s. So scared of like losing my youth. No, I'm 32 years old. I'm the hottest I've ever been. I'm in the best shape of my life. I know who I am. I know what I want. If you don't like me, that's your problem, not mine. If God came down right now and said, you can go back to your 20s if you want, I would say no thanks. I have never been so confident in my life, and I swear that just came with age.
I feel like in our 30s, we're only kind of just becoming adults now. I feel like in our 20s, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, but I felt like an overgrown child in my 20s. I'm only kind of just starting to feel like an adult woman now. And yet the media and society at large still clings to this dusty narrative of women in their 30s being in a decline because a confident woman in her prime is a threat. She's harder to sell things to. She's less easy to manipulate. And call me crazy, but I honestly would say that me being in my 30s now is my prime. I know we're bombarded with the messaging that our 30s is a slippery downhill slope that will lead us to spinsterhood and hagland. But if I look at pictures of me now versus pictures of me in my 20s, I think I look better now. And I haven't had a facelift, haven't had any kind of plastic surgery. The only surgery I've ever had is 2 C-sections. And it wasn't pleasant. So I feel like my face has kind of like grown into itself a little bit better. I know how to do my makeup better now. I know what hair looks good on me and what doesn't. And apparently purple hair and pink hair and peroxide blonde hair doesn't look great on me. You know what style looks better on you. You have a bit more money, hopefully, to treat yourself. You can get your nails done if you want to. You can go to better hairdressers. But we can do all that and take control of our looks a little bit better now than we could in our 20s.
I fell asleep amid the flowers for a couple of...
Bro, there's a lot of girls where that glow up happens in their 30s. There's a lot of girls that I know that are in their 20s and they look like not the most attractive. Okay? Then there's girls who are in their 30s and their 40s and they're baddies.
I feel like the decade of our 30s needs a rebrand. And all of you ladies in your 30s like me, we need to take control of this era, own our shit, and change up the narrative because I am not liking the way we're being portrayed. Women over 30 are not falling apart. We are assembling, building empires, raising kids, starting businesses, starting again, traveling, going solo, getting Botox, or not. We're living and we're thriving. And if society can't handle that, tough. We're not here to fit your script. We're here to write our own. Did you like that one? Okay, my darlings, I'm gonna leave this video here. I need food and a jumper because it's actually gone from summer to winter like overnight in Australia and I am freezing. If you guys made it to the end of this video, you might know that I've started doing, I was gonna call it a giveaway. It's not really a giveaway, but if you come over to my Instagram, this is my handle, and you comment under any recent picture just so I can see it, make sure it's a recent picture. I'm gonna go through the list of comments and just choose one of you guys at random to send a DM to and be like, what's your address? You give me your address, I'll send you a little package of skincare, makeup, whatever I think you might like, as a way to say thank you for supporting me and watching my videos. And I know some people are like, Steph, I don't even have Instagram. Why can't you just send me a message here on YouTube? And my love, I would. But I cannot because YouTube does not give us that option. Can't DM you on YouTube, unfortunately, but I can DM you on Instagram. So that is why. You don't even have to follow me. I love your guts and I will see you in my next video. Bye.